Hi, I'm Darren, and I'm part of Print Tingz screen printing company. For the past 7 years, with your support, we've been contributing to those affected by breast cancer with our Pink Tees t-shirt campaign. For that, we say thank you, and enjoy the interview with one of this year's recipients.
Well, Nakara Miller is a person who's full of joy. I'm one who's a bit more balanced in life. I love to, be around people. I invite people to my home. I love to cook. I just love family and friends. And I'm not, somehow a no-nonsense person, but I have a good balance when it comes to everything. But I am a very lovable person, and I love to love others.
Are you married?
Yes, I am married. I'm married to Mr. Kai Miller, Captain Kai Miller. I've been married for 13 years now, and we have 3 wonderful children. Yes.
3 boys or 3 girls? Or mix?
2 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, the lucky girl. What is your favorite Bahamian dish?
My favorite Bahamian dish is crab and grits with some steamed fish, plantain, and coleslaw.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is the royal color navy blue. I love navy blue.
Do you have a history of breast cancer in your family?
Yes, I do. My mother, she died of cancer. She had breast cancer, and my grandmother, her mother, also had breast cancer. My paternal grandmother had stomach cancer. So we have a big history of breast cancer in our family. Or
wow.
Cancer, actually.
When did you find out that you had breast cancer?
I found out that I had breast cancer, I think that it was January 2nd, 2019.
How? How did you find out?
Well, I had a previous disease called vasculitis. And whilst I went over to the Cleveland Clinic to check what's going on, I said, let me just go ahead and do my annual. And I did the annual, and they found a lump. So they said, well, most likely it could be aspirated and there's nothing to it. And so I had to do all of the blood work, everything. And I did the biopsy, and it came back that the lump was malignant.
What was your thought process getting that news at that time?
Well, the thing is, I think the whole thing about it is because I was in the Bahamas, I had to get that news over the phone.
Whoa.
So when they called, they said, well, we need you to come in. I said, well, I live in the Bahamas. I'd love to catch a whole flight to come in. But that was the first sign. So she said, okay, I'll let the doctor call you back. So the doctor calls me back, and she says, are you by yourself? I said, no, I'm at work. So you know me, I didn't say I'm ready for this. But me saying I'm ready for it was different from me saying, hearing her say, you have stage 1 cancer. And I'm like, she said, I said, pardon me? She said, sorry to say this, but the lump was malignant. And I'm like, and honestly, I wept. It was me in my office, and all the staff members only could have heard me saying it was weeping. And they immediately came and they started praying.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was, when my whole family, everybody came around me that evening. So it was just overnight after my family, my son, my husband, they processed it, and that next morning I was like, okay, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Seeing that your mommy and you're sharing this information with them, how did they take it?
My oldest son, it really hit him simply because he was around with my mother and my grandmother. So he saw all of that. And I think it kind of played a toll on him the most, The little one, he says, Mommy, what you have to do? I said, well, I have to do surgery and I have to take the treatment. And then it gone, right? I said, yeah. He said, oh, you got this.
Just like that?
Just like that. Oh, you have this. And so it was just, my husband tried to be strong for me, but I think the attitude that I took is like, okay, we gotta do this. Probably because I have been through it with my mom and with my grandmother. So I just was using my knowledge and dealing with them and seeing what they went through to help me take my next step.
What type of treatment did you undertake?
Well, I had a double mastectomy, and prior to me taking the chemotherapy, they took a genetic test to find out if I had the cancer gene. So when that result came back, because they only wanted to do a lumpectomy because of my prior disease.
Okay.
But when that test came back and it said that I have the triple negative BRCA gene, it was like, okay, they have to come off. So there was no doubt, because my mom, she did one and it came in the next. Same thing with my grandmother. So I was thinking, what? They go to walk the same time, even though it was only in one. I had something called papilloma in the next, but it had potential to become breast cancer. So that then determined my chemotherapy, my treatment, and type of chemotherapy. So they had to they told me it would be 4 doses. And is the strongest dose that you could possibly have of the chemo. So I said, okay. And they said because of the type of gene I had, they had to fight it aggressively, treat it aggressively.
How long did this whole chemotherapy process take for you?
I went to chemo for every 3 weeks, once a month, every 3 weeks. So basically, I had 4 sessions. And I did those sessions prior to me because I did do the lumpectomy. And then I did the sessions, and then I did the mastectomy. And after the mastectomy, it was the hysterectomy. So we just was trying to do, take preventative measures to make sure that, this doesn't reoccur.
How long did it take? A year, 18 months, 3 years? The whole process?
My whole process was the full year of 2019.
Wow, just fighting straight through.
Fighting straight through.
Wow, that's very incredible. Now, you said you had a double mastectomy, meaning that you removed the girls.
Yes, they're gone.
There are a lot of females who may be struggling with that, probably thinking, oh, I'm going to lose my beauty, my appeal, what parts of what makes me a woman.
Right.
What would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that it's only a feature. It's only a feature. When you take away that, you're still living, and God is still giving you life. So there's ways you can to reconstruct, or be like me, repad. Because at first I was a bit like, oh Lord, I'm gonna look lopsided. But honestly, I have taken the whole, like, all right, it is, it isn't. I'm comfortable now, honestly. I just wear, my prosthesis because, shape-wise.
Yes.
But otherwise, I don't even want to reconstruct him anymore, as I had planned to.
What would you say are some of the things that got you through this situation?
The one thing I can say, the 2 things that definitely kept me was my family and my friends. The support they gave me always kept a smile on my face. Even at my lowest days where, I couldn't even take the scent. You walk in the room, I'm going to see you, but I can't take your body odor. The dry mouth, all of that came with it. My friends and my family, they were there to support me. And I am in debt to them for the rest of my life.
How important is that for somebody to have such a good support system while dealing with this?
It is very good because, to be alone.
Yes.
Some persons may feel as if, okay, I don't want nobody to know my business. And I'm a bit different. But that helps me. That helps me. Sometimes, okay, you walk out the door, sister walk in. After sister, friend comes, and it takes your mind off of what you're going through because you're having a regular conversation with them, and I may have been weak, whatever, but I just tried to persevere because people took their time to come and check on me, to feed me, to make sure I was straight. So it made me feel, because that's the type of person I am. And so it really kept me and took me through that whole thing. When it's time for me to go, this one meant with me. It was time for me to come back, or another trip. They actually took turns carrying me over.
Next question is twofold. You speak about people that, you know, sometimes don't want to tell people about what's going on.
Right.
How has opening up to your friends helped you through this situation?
To me, it was very therapeutic. Talking and letting them know that, hey, this is rough, and helping them counsel you. To me, because when you're in close, you keep everything to yourself. You try to put up that face. You're only human. You have to.
That guard.
Yes. To me, you will then, it hurts more. And I've seen people, oh, I don't want nobody to know my business. But I've also seen them hurt because they're alone. You know? So I try to encourage people. You know, they say, oh, everybody like you. I say, but sometimes when you see a disease like that, it crushes you. You know? And me being, you know, had a prior disease, if it wasn't for my family, I don't think I would have made it.
Now the flip side of this is, what do you tell friends and family members? How do they be there for the person that has cancer or is going through such a disease? What do they say when they visit or when they call? You know, what do they say? What do they do?
Well, see, as I say, I'm one who loves to laugh.
Yes.
I just love life. So basically, they carry on like, do you need any? The basics questions, how you doing? Well, child, and you just go on with a normal conversation. Because, you know, if you sit there on the phone, how you doing? You're quiet and you're not your normal self and calling the person. You know, it's like you're dwelling on what's going on. What you want to do is take their mind off of it and uplift their spirits. You know, so I would encourage anyone who has to support a friend or a family member who has cancer or any illness to just, you know, go there, make sure they're fine, but be your normal self, have your normal, try to do whatever you can do to uplift their spirits.
Okay, how long has cancer been in remission for you?
Now it has been almost 2 years, 2000, no, almost 3 years.
To people who think as though cancer is the end of life, like there's no life after cancer, like that's all. What do you tell them?
I tell them, you know, it's not a death sentence. That's number one. It's not a death sentence. I am fully functioning, going to work. I literally was going to work while I was taking chemo. You know, I did. I went to work half days, but while I was taking chemo, I said this bed will not consume me. And I got up and I went to work.
How important was that for you?
That was important because I do love the job that I do, and it helped me to function normally. You know, to say, okay, I'm not an invalid. It's not over. So I went to work, and of course I knew that I may have been pushing it. So midday I went home. But it was important to me to say, no, try to keep doing what you used to do, and as best as you can, that is not too dangerous for you, to keep like normal, not to say, okay, I have cancer, it's over. You know, once you have that strength, try to do what you can to do, to make life as normal as it was prior to cancer. And you have many persons who are a testimony that, hey, I had cancer. It may have done me in, but I'm here with the grace of God, and I'm here, and I'm one of those here person.
Been diagnosed in the last week. It's probably going to be diagnosed in the upcoming week. What do you tell them?
What I would tell that young lady is, you know, this life is a process. We all have things that are thrown at us, but God knows best, and in that process you just have to trust it. You know, don't think that it's, you know, don't have that fear, because God has our backs. I always said, God got me, and God will have you. So it's going to be an adventure, and all you have to do is pray and try your best, you know, to fight it. Don't give up. Always remember you have to fight.
In our culture, we touched on it just a bit, just a short bit. We feel there's a lot of people that go through stuff and they keep it to themselves. And had somebody known, had even an inkling of what they were going through, they could help.
Right.
what do you tell that person who has this, you know, oh, I don't want nobody to know my business attitude, or I don't want burden somebody with this, and they carry this with them, and in the meantime, it's making them even more sick. What do you tell them?
Yes, that no man is an island. We need each other, and you don't know who is there to help you. You know, it may be the brother, sister, friend, and maybe a stranger. And so, too, your story could be somebody else's. You know, somebody can learn from you. And you may be the one that is hurt and that is going through it, but you're also somebody's, you know, light at the end of the tunnel to say, oh, but she did this, I could do this. You could be a help to somebody. So I would tell them not to, you know, it would consume you, and it has been proven that you tend to get a bit more ill because you have that stress in you and you're not letting that stress out. And you know, I know cancer feeds off of stress. So the best thing you need to do is find someone you could trust, a friend, a family member, a priest, a pastor, you know, and to talk it out, and you would feel much better than keeping it in.
How does Breast Cancer Awareness Month make you feel, knowing that people are putting emphasis on, you know, making sure ladies, men do the proper physicals, just bringing attention to this so they can try and prevent it?
Well, I think it's very important because even when I found out I had cancer, every family member, every friend, I told them, listen to your bodies. Your body gives you these signs, and if you ignore them. So right now, preventative measures are the best way to fight it. I was taking mammograms, from age 30. I found it at age 40. But so you have to go and get your checkups. You have to say, okay, something don't feel right here. Just say, oh, let it go. Go and check it out. You know, some people, you don't want to be, you know, ridiculous about it, but you have to check it out because, you know, actually the prior disease vasculitis that I had, it was a manifestation from the cancer.
Wow.
So I had the symptoms before I knew. And the thing is, you just have to listen to our bodies, make sure we take good care of it, go and get your annual checkups. And women, you know, Bahamian women, I always say it's our genetic makeup, our fibrocystic breasts. We have to check ourselves out regularly, get that mammogram, go and get your annual testing done, because cancer is, for some odd reason, it's the Bahamian women, it's affecting a lot of us. So we must, even the men need to get those colonoscopies and those prostate cancer. So any Cancer Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is very important. I've been wearing pink every day since it started, from October 1st. But we have to make it aware to help our sisters and brothers who doesn't know about it. You know, so simply means I knew about it, but the one sign that my breast showed, I wasn't aware of that one particular sign, which was the orange peel. You see, I never knew about that. I knew about the lump, I knew about the inverted nipple, but now this is the time for us to spread the word and let persons know, give them the information about breast cancer or any cancer in general. But October, you know, because we have been so, it has been so prevalent amongst Bahamian women, it's why we you will hear more of the October with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month than any other, because it has affected many Bahamian women. So it helps us to let them know, okay, this is what you look for, you need to go get a checkup. So Breast Cancer Awareness Month is very important.
What can men do in the roles as husbands, boyfriends, partners, brothers? What can they do to encourage and even help their sisters or their wives, saying in terms of telling them to go and get checked, or even after they find out, what role do they play?
Well, especially after, you have to be that support system. And I think a lot of people question me, what did Kai say? Kai, I want you to take them off. And honestly, my husband says, if taking them off means you're staying here, let them go. He said, let those go. So you have to give her that support. Let her know that, listen, I love you. I don't love just your breasts. I love you. I don't love just this part of your body. So you have to really give them support and let them know, like, you do what you have to do to still be here. We will do it together. You know, that support is utmost important.
Well, Print Tingz, our print company, and of course our Pink Teas campaign want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time not only to share with us, but to be that beacon, to be that hope to other ladies that may encounter this or just may have to be a support system for somebody. Every year we print t-shirts, and of course we make sure that our designs are bold, we make sure that they resonate with the public. But our giving power is that we want to make sure that we're able to help somebody that had to go through this. And of course, you're our recipient for this year.
Okay.
All right? So, again, thanks for sharing with us. Thanks for being with
me.
us.
All right. Thank you.